Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today I'll be looking at another production from Neoglyphic Media. Thank you to Colin from Neoglyphic for sending these over. This is Pixie Lice by Amanda Vähämäki. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. This one's really cool. The art in it's really great. I feel like this artist has a big future in YA, probably. Finding the right publisher and getting a longer project. The story here, I feel like, is part of a much bigger world, and we're just getting a little sneak peek about like some kids getting lice, like two sisters and their kids getting lice. What I find most interesting about this is it fits into a genre that me and Sean were trying to come up with the word for in the SPX debrief. Credit where credit's due. The reason we were talking about that is because I had listened to Heidi McDonald leading Four Women in a Hotel Room podcast, and I'd listened to that because they were saying some really nice things about living the line, that what Sean's doing with the publishing company and our book Abolition of Man. But they were also referring to that they were seeing this new genre developing, and they had been seeing it, and there was a lot of it at SPX apparently, where it's like slice of life stuff, but all the characters are monsters. So in this book, you have some kid are vampires, like the moms seem to be witches. This character here is like a werewolf. They're eating magic mushrooms. So there's all this magic and like fairy tale and monsters on top of it. This one has kids in it. Most of what I've seen, the one I think of is a comic called Moonstruck, where it's like, and this is what they were saying that they were seeing a lot of at SPX too, was like people in their early 20s working like their first coffee shop job, but they're all like centaurs and fairies and stuff like that. And like, what was this? What's this trend about? And they made some speculation, and I brought it up with Sean, and we have both seen some of this kind of stuff too, and we're curious about it. And then John M. Withers the fourth, one of our subs and frequent commenters, said that he calls it Monster Life, and I think that's the perfect. That he was a little hesitant about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, John, you nailed it. This genre, will call it Monster Life, and that's what this book is. It's a well done Monster Life, and we're also talking about, it seems fairly connected to like LGBTQA plus, all of that, like this idea of being the outsider, being different, that there's some kind of emotional representation of that the monsters are stand-ins for like being non-normative, basically, and that a lot of these stories seem to have that in them as well, and this has it to some extent, but really it's just kind of a cute story about, yeah, what if everyone was like monsters, and then your lice would be, you're playing because you were playing with pixies or whatever, so here you go and you see the pixie lice. So it's a really short slice of life monster life comic, but I think the cartooning in it and the coloring is really good. My only one complaint with the art is that when this kid's playing the video game, there's just like screenshots put in there. And I've seen some comics where that works well. Like I know Brandon Graham sometimes collages in real things and he pulls it off, but in the context of this one with the cartooning and the like hand done watercolor look and everything, I would have just like abstractly suggested what was on the screen there. That was a little bit odd, but other than that, I really like the art, and I really do believe that this artist, let me get the name right again, Amanda Vähämäki, really has like a future in interesting YA books. It's just going to need to be something longer than this, but I feel like this is the seed of a world that Amanda Vähämäki has worked out in her head, and she didn't give me too much of it here, just told one little story. I think that's like the perfect entrance. It doesn't say Pixie Lice #1, but I could see this being expanded to like a 200-page kids novel, and I think that would probably be pretty successful. So I hope that happens for Amanda Vähämäki. But really good. Another cool one from Neoglyphic Media. I'll make sure to put a link so you can go order a copy and support what they're doing. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the channel, there's two ways to support us. One is through Patreon. That helps get us extra money to buy the books that review, things like that. There's some different tiers with some different like voting and polls and contests and stuff that you can be involved in. So that's always awesome. We appreciate that. And then the best thing you can do is support what Sean's doing with Living the Line Publishing in an effort to just make better quality, better reproduced books. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the books that he has out now. Solid Yellow, Path of the Shades by Clarence Doss is a really cool ongoing project that Living the Line will be producing. Clarence is a PhD student from Fiji who's studying the myths of Fiji for his doctoral thesis. And part of that study project is that he's producing these comics. they're kind of like Hellboy, where there's these little short stories that capture all of these different mythologies. But then he's using that to wrap the project into his doctoral thesis and then provide educational material where people can come to these comics. You know, they don't have to read his PhD thesis. They can come to the comics and get a more consumable version of the mythology of Fiji. Thanks for following along. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash that subscribe button and the like button and the bell, and then you get them.